What's going on, Big Bird?
What's up, baby? How y'all doing?
Good, man. I know that hand gesture drives the
It
hell out of
pisses
James.
Stonier bad.
Oh, it makes everybody fucking mad. You saw how Darius got off on that stage too. Darius don't talk shit to nobody.
Dude, great to see you, man. Great to see your smile. Watching it back, how does it feel?
It's good, man. It was a good matchup. I'm glad the people got to finally see it. I was really just interested in what Dana had to say about it, because obviously I knew the whole thing was clean this time, and I was really proud of that performance.
Mm-hmm.
Darius had said as soon as he knew it was going to the judges that he knew it was his fight. He said in the third round that I was stumbling away when he hit me. I was not rocked nor stumbled in that fight, not one fucking bit. I stepped back, turned around, and walked away. That was it. Then I laughed at him again.
Yeah.
So I think the judges definitely went the wrong way with that, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? We're gonna be back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen you at UFC X, so there's a lot of anticipation that we wanted to see how you perform. Obviously, we talked about Mitchell Sipe and the club on him that he had, all the way back to the trials. And so, you sat there, you were patient, you were dedicated, you didn't give up, you didn't get deterred away from not getting that call, and you get the opportunity to come on the show, and be part of that and go up against the legend like Darius the Destroyer. Talk to me, how do you go and you say, okay, like, yes, this guy is legendary and, but I want to take his head off at the same time. Like, were you conflicted at all? Or was it just like, this is just straight war?
No, it was honestly a fight that I had called for already. What was super exciting about being able to get into the house was I got 2 of like 3 or 4 matches that I had called Erica for on several occasions already. I talked a little bit of shit on social media to Darius, and let everybody know I thought he was on his way out. He needed to retire. And, he proved why he still belongs here and why he's ready to keep doing this and get back on the wagon with it,
Yeah, 100%. You mind to do kind of a walk along, I guess, with the video, talk us through kind of how the match went from your perspective? And Dang, if you want to narrate this with him, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Big Bird, obviously, I saw you at UFC X, so great to see you again.
Yes, sir.
This was an interesting one, man, because, first of all, Darius was wearing shoes. Did you notice that?
I didn't, honestly. I didn't pay too much attention to too much detail. I was excited that a name that I drew out of my hat was somebody I wanted, so I was just ready for war in that moment.
Yeah, so we see this first strike here. And Frank talks about this, it seems like he barely gets you.
Yeah, so with that shot, he actually got me right in the orbital. He didn't get me quite flush on the cheek, so I was a little surprised they didn't call it as a club, but being as it was just his fingers, I kind of see why. But he skipped that right across my nose.
Let's see here. So you get him. Did you expect anything different than what you got? I mean, we've seen every fight he's been in with the exception of Wolverine.
Not necessarily. I couldn't say that I mean, I knew he was going to have a chin coming in, but I definitely thought my power was going to bring a little bit more to him than he had before. So I definitely underestimated the chin.
Yeah, we see his signature wind up. He seemed to get you a little bit better on that one, but still same issue. And I think this is actually when Frank and Dana make the comment that, he's kind of all fingertips.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah, you can see him. Yep. So in that moment, though, are you feeling that? Like, you can tell, all right, he's not getting me with his whole hand?
Yeah, I could tell it wasn't flush. It kind of felt, I want to say it felt like a club, but like you could tell it wasn't too far back. It was just a sense of knowing it wasn't all there, so it was a lot easier to take in that sense.
Yeah, I was kind of weirded out because from the angle we saw in the initial part of the strike, he's like touching the top of his head. And I'll tell you this just straight up, I do think the strike was high. I would probably call that if I was a referee.
Right.
I'm not a referee though, so I'm gonna say, it is what it is.
Seeing it in slow motion, I thought it was a little high too. But being as it got called clean, I'm gonna just stick with what Frank said. You know what
I mean? It's funny. That was in my notes to ask. Like, did you think Frank was being honest? This one he seems to get you a little bit better. But again, I mean, you take these strikes well. You have good response, and
Right,
he
and see,
just
that's what I was talking about with the wobble thing. Like, you see how I kind of just sit back so I can absorb it, and then I'm like, it kind of makes me wonder if the referees thought I was rocked, and that's why they might have pushed it farther in his direction. But when I saw the slow motion in the second slap, I could kind of see where they would have taken that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Them not reading out the scores for the decisions is kind of frustrating
Oh
because it
yeah,
doesn't really give us much of a basis to understand, what rounds could have went one way or the other.
right.
I just think, to be honest, and again, with the exception of the Wolverine fight, this is kind of Darius's MO.
Yeah,
He looks that way every time he takes a strike, and I think I don't think it has anything to do with whether you're powerful or you're not powerful. I just think that the guy he's
he's
just
got a solid chin on him.
yeah, he's got
Solid
an
chin.
ironclad chin, and I think that's probably what the difference maker was. If I'm a judge,
Right.
that you turn your head a little more. I think at one point you took like one slight step backwards. I'd have a tough time judging it, but I agree with you. I think it was like really, really thin. I don't think anybody would have said, "Oh my God," if you got the nod, oh, it's a robbery or anything like that.
Yeah, I was completely happy with the outcome. There's no bad blood for me on that one. I was after watching it, I was accepting of it, being in it and like anticipating, waiting for it to come up. I was like, nah, fuck that, I won.
Well, what do you think that means for you in the grand scheme of things? Obviously, you talked about, you're that puts you now at 0-3,
3, yeah,
right? And he was 0-3, so this was kind of his moment. Obviously, he's had wins in the past in other promotions, so his official record is 17-3, and I guess now 18-3. Do you think? I mean, he kind of needed to win that fight. Do you think that
Oh,
you were kind of in the same category? Where do you think that puts you now?
he absolutely needed to win that fight. I think, in a sense, they're still trying to use me as a crutch for people. The thing with Mitchell, he was a big name. He was a big talent that was already on Tough and The Ultimate Fighter. But there was also behind the scenes things that happened with that. And I'm not scared to fight anybody. I'll take any man on this planet. And I'm ready to take the biggest and baddest of the world. But I think for me personally, they fed me nothing but top contenders. So I think that I can continue trying to fight these higher ups, or at least top 10, and try to earn my spot there at the bottom of the totem pole so I can try to start climbing to the top.
Love it, man. Class act. You got up there with a legend, and you stood your ground. And like I said, you lost a unanimous decision, but I think it was razor thin. There wasn't a ton of things to judge. You guys both were just units standing up there. Nobody was
Yeah.
on each other per se. Not that you weren't trying, but again, I mean, you're going up there against a guy who's been slapped a lot of times.
Yeah, at one point in time was known as the greatest of all time at what we do. So to be able to stand across from him and just kind of walk right through that was it was motivating on its own for myself.
Awesome, man. Core.
Yeah, man, great to see you again. Up there, obviously still got your name in it. You're still ready. You're still training. Maybe we'll see you. You kind of came. I thought the first time we seen you, correct me if I'm wrong, weren't you in the 230s the first time we seen you up there? I seen you at 254 right now.
Yeah, when I fought Mitchell, I was at about 234, 235. So with the time that I had taken off, I haven't been in MMA for about 3 years because my gym closed down because of COVID. And so it was when Power Slap came, it was really easy to throw my focus on that because you can kind of do that a little bit more on your own time and work around things with that. And so I just really put the focus on that. And MMA's really been the only thing that kind of helped me lose weight, and being that dedicated and advocated to it every single day. And so being as I didn't have that, I figured, just get bigger and better at what you're at right now. Do better where you're at right now, and show them that you're here to stay, and it doesn't matter where they put you at. You're going to be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to put a challenge out there for you. All right. I want to see you at light heavy next time I see you.
At light heavyweight, I got you all day.
Light heavy. All right, my man. Appreciate you, dude. We'll stay in touch. We'll talk again soon. All right.
Yes, sir. Absolutely appreciate talking to you guys.
Take care, man. Have all the best.